So how many devils did he have in him? You remember when Jesus spoke to him and he said, what is your name? And so our name is Legion, because there are many devils that was in this man. This man was possessed by a multitude of devils. And it causes me to think about the story of Mary Magdalene. And I preached about this and talked about it on the radio not too long ago, and talked about how this woman was transformed from a woman with 7 devils when she went to a revival meeting that Jesus was preaching. And from that point on, she was a loyal servant of Jesus Christ. She traveled with him with the company of other women who were just there to take care of the needs of the people, to serve them, to feed them, to comfort them. Mary Magdalene was very prominent in that role. And Mary Magdalene was the first one to see Jesus after he had risen from the dead. But Mary Magdalene was filled with 7 demons. And I thought to myself, what must she have looked like when she encountered Jesus, when you've got 7 devils in you? But this man had a legion of devils in him. And when you read the account that after they said to Jesus, what are you going to do to us? How are you going to deal with us? And then they said, let us go into that herd of swine, the pigs. And it said that Jesus granted their request. And he ordered them to go into those pigs. And when he did, they became violent. And it says they ran down a hill and cast themselves into the sea and were drowned. 2,000. And that's what the scripture says. 2,000 pigs were literally affected in such a way that they just went crazy. And they ran down that hill and were drowned. So if 2,000 pigs were being affected, can we make a leap here to say that perhaps there was 2,000 demons in this man? Well, if that were the case, you can only imagine why he behaved in such a way. Well, let's consider this. Any average person, any average Christian, if we were to encounter a man who was in such a state, how would we deal with that? The truth of the matter is that most of us would run and do our best to get away. But interesting enough, the scripture tells us that we have authority over such things. Now, I know that's hard to imagine. And you say, well, Jesus cast him out because he was Jesus. But Jesus said, I did great things, but you'll do greater things. And he was talking about his church. He said that we had literally the ability to evoke his name. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.